Hi guys. Okay, so this video I'm going to be doing highlight first and then contour. I sent you another video starting with your contour first and then highlight. So there's different ways you can do this. So whatever way works for you, do that. I prefer starting with my highlight. It is a lot easier to start with your contour. So I wanted to show you both ways. You can play with it and figure out what works for you. So this is the look that I had on today. It's a different lip and cheek that I used for the contour first video. So I'm going to take this makeup off and show you how to do your 3D foundation doing highlight first. Okay, in the contour first video, I started with a setting spray as my primer. I'm not going to do that today because you don't have to. It's just something that I like to do. So I'm not going to do that today, just to show you the two different ways. I am going to do, I'll do half of my face using everything with the Buffy brush, and I will do half of my face using the Buffy brush and the Detail-HAC and the B² brush. This is what I normally use. So I'm going to do half of my face with what I normally use, just so you can see the different brushes, and I'm going to do half of my face with the Buffy brush that you guys have. Here is my compact. So my compact is going to mirror your compact that I believe you guys got. I can't get on the internet right now. We're up at the cabin, so I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't send anything. So as soon as I have service, I will send you these videos because I know how exciting it is when your makeup comes in. But then it's frustrating because you're like, how the heck do I use this? So I want to get these to you as soon as possible, so you guys can start using this makeup. Okay, so I have a different illuminator and a different blush in this compact than I did with the other video. This is my highlight. It's amber. My highlight is amber. Contour is Astoria. This lip and cheek is plum, and this cream illuminator is pearl. Again, this is the Buffy brush that you guys have. So this half of my face, I'm going to be doing the Buffy brush only. This half of my face, I'm going to be using Buffy brush for my highlight, Detail-HAC for all my contour, and the B², which is the blush and bronzer brush for my blush and bronzer. And I am going to blend everything at the end with my Perfector sponge. And then I will set at the end with my setting spray. This has SPF 30 in it. They have another one with no SPF in it. So you can figure out which one you like better. I just prefer the SPF, but I've heard that the one without SPF is also amazing. So let's get started. So our Buffy brush, the bigger end on this side of my face, I'm going to do first with the Buffy brush. I'm going to do the smaller end for contour, bigger end for the highlight, and in this video I'm starting with my highlight, which is the method I prefer. It's not as easy though as starting with your contour, so at the beginning maybe you might want to try both of them, see which one works for you, but maybe try at the beginning starting off with your contour first until you get the hang of it and then switching over, but play with both of them and see what works best for you. So I'm going to dip in with the big end of the Buffy brush, the bigger end, into my highlight, into my amber highlight, and I'm going to tap into it. A little goes a long way, so you don't need much product. My lighting again is terrible, so my setup here is crazy, it might fall. The other video lighting was terrible also. It was a cloudy day and it was about to snow, so but I really just, I'll send you other videos with better lighting. But I really wanted you guys just to see how to put this makeup on so you can start playing with it and starting to wear this amazing makeup. I know how much I love it, and I feel that you guys are going to love it too. I really hope you love it as much as I do. Okay, so start off with a clean face. I just took my makeup off with a Neutrogena makeup remover wipe, so ideally wash your face first. If you're going to be using the milk cream, the moisturizer, let it soak into your skin before applying the makeup, because you don't want to apply moisturizer and then immediately put your makeup on. It will mix together, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to mix it together. So tap into your highlight color and you can swipe it on there and then just do little stippling little stippling motion to really tap it into your skin. A little goes a long way, so if you feel that you've picked up too much, it moves really easily and it blends out so well. It's so soft on your skin. You're gonna love the way your skin feels. Okay, so just press it in along your lower jaw. Right here, where it starts to hollow out, that's where our contour is gonna go. So you don't need to go too high. And just press it in. The more product you pick up, the more coverage you're gonna get. But I recommend starting off with a light application, and then you can build from there. You can add more product if you want a fuller coverage, or if you want less coverage, just tap in a little bit less. This makeup acts as a second skin, so if you do a lighter coverage, I have a mole right here, you'll be able to see it through your makeup if you do a lighter application. You can do a fuller coverage, and you can hide any blemishes or moles or freckles, or you can have them seen depending on how you apply the makeup. So tap back in, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm not going to pick up as much makeup when I go on my nose and under my eyes, only because I am going to show you my brightening highlight as well. So I have a lighter shade of this that I'm going to pop in certain spots that I'll show you. You don't have to do that. I just want to show you the option of doing a brightening highlight as well, which I really love. I always do a brightening highlight. If you only have one color, which is usually what people start with, then you don't need to worry about doing the brightening highlight. I just want to give you an option. So again, I'm not worrying about the apples of my cheeks, because that's where my lip and cheek is going to go, and I'm not worrying about right here underneath your cheekbone where it hollows out. I'm not worrying about that yet, because that's where my contour is going to go, as well as the top of my forehead. I'm not going to worry about quite yet. Okay, so I'll dip in and put some here. I'm going to go a little over halfway up my forehead. If you have a longer forehead, you're going to bring, when we do the contour, you're going to bring your contour down lower. If you have a shorter forehead, then you're just going to do the contour on just the top of your forehead. So I'm going to dip back in there, and I'm just going to keep blending. So, and I'm pressing it into my skin. I'm moving it a little bit. So I'm swiping a little bit, but I'm also really pressing it in there with this brush. Since I'm starting with my highlight first, which is the nice part about starting with your highlight first, you can flip your brush over and use the smaller end and get into spots that are harder to reach with the bigger end. So I've already done my brows, and I don't want to mess them up. So I just flipped my brush over and dipped back into my highlight to get those little crevices that I can't get with the bigger end, and get around my brows without messing my brows up. And then when you go into your contour, you can use your washcloth, and you can always wipe product off of your washcloth. I always have this with me, so you can use one brush for multiple applications. And then you can just dip right into your contour when you're ready. So let me just press this in, and then we'll move on to our contour. So with this lighting, I'm hoping it's not ideal lighting, but I really want you to see where this makeup needs to be placed. So I'm just kind of blending as I go, and again, I'm going to blend out with at the very end, I'm going to blend with my perfector sponge as well. You don't have to. You can just keep blending until you're satisfied with how blended it is with the brush. But I do recommend getting a perfector sponge, just to really at the end blend and press your makeup in, and set it into your face. Okay, set it into your skin. Okay, so I have my main highlight on, which is amber. I'm going to move on to my contour now. So I did say I was going to do half of my face with the brushes that I normally use and half of my face with only the Buffy brush, so you can see with the brush that you have how to do your whole face. I just want to give you an option over here and let you see the applications with the other brushes that I use on a daily basis. So I did my whole main highlight with the Buffy brush, which is what I would do anyway. And now I'm going to move on to this half of my face. I'm going to flip my brush over to the small end of my Buffy brush, and I'm going to tap into my contour. I have Astoria. A little bit goes a long way. And again, start off light and you can build. Most people with this makeup use too much highlight, which is what I just applied, and not enough contour, because the contour does seem a bit scary at first. Once you get the hang of it, there's a little learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy to apply. And you can add more contour if you'd like. So I'm going to find my cheekbone here. Feel where your cheekbone is. It's hard, and then it goes down and it gets a little bit softer and it hollows out. Right there is where we're going to apply our contour. So if you can also, right at the top of your ear, you can make a line right here, right down. So start at the top of your ear and follow that hollowed out cheekbone. Right where it hollows out is right where you're going to place your contour. And this is the hard part of my cheekbone, and this is right where it goes in and hollows out. Okay, you do not want to go all the way in. So see that triangle I have? Do not go in here. You're going to stop. You're going to stop about at the corner of your eye. So if you follow it down, it stops right here. So if you just take a makeup brush and you're looking straight ahead, just don't go past the center of your eye, okay? You're gonna just bring it down and stop it right here. You're creating a shadow, and if you go too far in with your shadow, if you bring your line too far in, it's going to ruin that illusion of the shadow that we're gonna create. So you're gonna stop about right here. So you're gonna take the small end of your Buffy brush and dip into your contour and start off light, and you can add. If you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself when you go into the hollowed out part of your cheekbone, just do a little fish face. And you're just going to press it in. See? Just like that. And again, I am going to blend at the end with my Perfector sponge, and I'm going to blend this out a bit. So it does look a little crazy at first until you blend, but you can see the shadow that we're creating, the nice cheekbones. So I'm just going to do this half of the face with everything with the Buffy brush, so you know how to use your brush, and on this half of my face I'm going to use the other brushes that I normally use to do my makeup, just so you can see the application. I normally use the Buffy brush for my entire highlight, where I already put the amber, so that's why I did both sides of my face with the Buffy brush, and I also used the small end to get into the little crevices with the highlight that I couldn't get to with the big part, since I already did my brows and my eye makeup. So I'm going to dip back into my contour on the left side of my face. I am going to go not on your face, just below, just right here, right below your jaw. And I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go right under my jaw and do a line all the way to my chin. When I get to my chin, I can dip back into my contour, and you don't want to have your head up. You want your head in a normal position, a natural position, and you're going to blend it down. You don't want a harsh line. You just want that nice shadow. So I'm just going to blend. I'm not picking up any more makeup. I'm just blending that line down. Just like that. So you can see that shadow. And this shadow we are going to blend still. Okay, so with your contour, if you have a longer forehead, you're going to go down lower with your contour. If you don't have quite as long of a forehead, you're just gonna go right here. So right here with your contour. And I'm only doing half of my face with this brush so I can show you the other half of the, I'm just gonna do this half, and on the other half I'm gonna use my detail-HAC brush. So I'm gonna press the contour in. I'm sorry, Gwenny's totally crying and Brandon is tending to her. So I do have a crazy hairline here. You guys probably have skin here. I'm gonna move that aside, and I'm just gonna blend this into my hairline and press. Okay, I'm gonna tap back into my contour again just to get a little bit more, and I'm just pressing it into my forehead. You would go all the way across. I'm not pushing on my skin right here. I'm just showing you it would go here as well. So you're just pressing it in right there. Okay, and again, you can go lower if you want to make your forehead appear shorter, because we are just making a shadow. Okay, so just right here, right there. And again, you can go a little bit lower. So you're not going to go over top of your highlight. We're going to blend them together. That's it. And just press it in there, and you can swipe a little bit. Okay, if you can see that shadow there. Okay, so I did this half of my face using your Buffy brush that you have, the smaller end. I'm going to switch over. This is the brush I normally use for my contour. This is called the detail-HAC brush. It's very dense, and it has a nice angle to it to get right under your cheekbone, right? I love the angle of this brush and how dense it is. I love this for contouring. I also love what we just used. I also love the Buffy brush, the small end of the Buffy brush for contour. But I just want to show you another option, and this is what I use daily. So on this half of my face, I'm gonna dip back into my contour, and I'm gonna contour this side of my face using the detail-HAC brush. So again, I'm gonna find the top of my ear, and I'm gonna make a line right here, and I'm gonna stop about right here. So if you feel your cheekbone, and right where it starts to, so this is my hard cheekbone, right where it starts to hollow out, that is right where I'm making my line. Okay, and again, I'm not gonna go past this point. So I'm about right here is where I'm gonna stop. So I'm gonna tap into my contour, and this brush, the detail-HAC brush, places so nicely underneath that jawbone, which is why I prefer to do my contour with it. But again, you can do your whole face with any one of these brushes. All of our brushes are double-ended, and you can do your whole entire 3D foundation with any of our brushes. They just do, even this B squared, the blush and bronzer brush, you can also do your highlight and your contour with this as well. And I'll do another video showing you that. I love this one also. It's a totally different application. It's a lighter, more airbrushed finish. So a more medium coverage, whereas using my Buffy and detail-HAC, it's more full coverage. You can also make it a more medium coverage by using less product. So I have not picked up any more product. I have not picked up any more contour. I'm just pressing that contour in right under that cheekbone. And you can already see the shadow. Again, I am going to still blend, but I really want you to see where the contour gets placed on your face. So detail-HAC brush, I'm only doing this half of my face with the contour because I've already done contour with my Buffy brush, which is what you guys have. So on the forehead, I did dip into my contour, and I'm just going to press it in right at the top of my forehead. So another great thing about this brush here, the detail-HAC brush, it's how dense it is and the shape. Such a nice shape to get that contour on. You can also blend with this. So once I get my contour pressed in, I can also swirl it and blend it, and really blend it into my highlight so that they're melted together. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so the idea of the contour, you're making a 3. So if you think of it as a 3, you see that? So the top of my forehead, I'm just going to make a 3, like that, okay? So I haven't contoured under here yet, I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to tap back into my contour, and I'm going to start right here, right under my ear, right under my earring. So I'm going below my jaw, and I'm just dragging it under to under my chin. Not on top of my jaw, but just below, because I'm creating that shadow. And when I get here, this is also a nice brush for right here. You just blend it down so you don't have a harsh line. So you just want to blend it down. Okay, so we have our highlight, where the highlight goes. We have the contour, where the contour goes. So there's your highlight and there's your contour. I'm going to now contour my lip and my nose. I will do this half of my face contouring with the Detail-HAC brush, and this half of my face contouring with the small end of your Buffy brush. So I'm going to tap just the tip. So this Buffy brush, this is the small end. It kind of goes down like this, and I'm just using just that little tip right there. And I'm picking up such a small amount of product. A little goes a long way. And I'm taking that end, and I'm just going to go right under my lip. I'm not going on my lip, I'm going right under my lip, because we're creating a shadow. And I know that sounds scary, but it looks so nice. So just right there, just like that. And I'm not going all the way out, I'm just going right under it. And you can blend it out. You can just keep blending it if you feel that it's a little too dark for you, or you can kind of blur it out and blend it with your finger. So I'm going to do a little bit more because I really want you to see that shadow under there. Okay, so I just did my whole under my lip with the Buffy brush. I'm just going to show you what I normally do. So I flip my Detail-HAC brush over to this side, and I'm not going to dip into any more product because I already have. This is such a nice brush. 1 second, baby, I'm almost finished. Okay, 1 minute, I'm using it. So I'm just going to use this end of my Detail-HAC brush and do the same thing. I really like this brush for contouring my, well, I really like this brush for contouring. This brush works just as good for contouring. So it's just personal preference, but I wanted to show you the options. I'm just blending that contour right here. And if you feel you've had too much, you just blend it out with your finger. So now we're gonna contour this side of my nose with the Buffy brush, the small end of the Buffy brush, the exact same part of it, right at the tip, that we used for underneath our lip. We're gonna tap in to our contour. You only need a little bit of product. Let's see, how do we do this so you can see? Okay, and you are just gonna make a line right down the side of your nose. And you're barely going to be, a very light hand, you're barely going to be pressing down, because you're just going to create, and then I like to do a little V here, so just like that. Okay, so that line just went right here. So I got a little bit right there, and it's okay. This makeup is so forgiving. You just wipe it. I'm gonna wipe and blend. I just put some highlight over it. Okay, so, and you just ever so lightly draw a line. So you can also blend this out if you feel like it's too harsh of a line with your perfector sponge, or just lightly go over it with your brush. Okay, and on the other side, I'm going to use my Detail-HAC brush, the small end. Gwenny's really upset. Okay, so I'm going to pinch this end of the Detail-HAC brush, And there we go. I'm gonna make a line straight down. Okay, and you just need a little bit of product, and then you're gonna connect that V here. So, and the other nice thing about the detail hack brush is if your line is a little bit too dark, you could just kind of go over it very lightly and blend it out, and then you can flip it back over to the big end, and you can blend it down, just like that. Okay, and then just like that. So I'm gonna blend the other side with this real quick. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna show you the option of using a brighter highlight, a brightening highlight. So here's your compact with your main highlight. Usually people start with one highlight, which is totally fine. I just want to show you the option of adding a lighter highlight for a pop of bright. So I'm going to go in here, this is called Candlelit. It's the little sister of Amber, which is my main highlight. And I'm going to tap right in there with the small end of my Buffy brush. So since we did contour with the small end, I wiped it off with my washcloth first. I just wiped off any extra contour, and then I just dipped into my Candlelit, my brightening highlight. So I'm just going to swipe it right there under my eye, and again swipe it right there under my eye. Okay, I'm going to do a little dot there on my Cupid's bow, right there on my chin, and right in the middle of my forehead, just like that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start pressing it in and dragging it under my eye, and I'm doing a pie shape right here. So that's the goal, is to do a little pie shape, and I'm just adding a little brightening to my face, little sunlit. So don't disturb your contour, your nose contour. There you go. So you want to just be careful not to mess up your nose contour. You can always redo it. If you did, then you're just going to press that in and drag it under your eye. I'm kind of dragging as I'm pressing, so I'm dragging and pressing. And there you go. Okay, and so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to press it in and drag it, and this is my Candlelit. This is not a necessary step. You do not have to do this. I just wanted to show you the option if you do want to get a brightening highlight. I just wanted to show you the option. Okay, and again, it's just a pie shape that you're doing. Okay, and then I'm just gonna press that in here because I did do a little bit there and on my chin. So, and I'm just gonna press this in right here on my forehead where I did a little dot. So the idea of the brightening highlight is to give you the focus right here on your face, right here. And it's just giving you a little candlelit look. So again, we're still gonna blend with our perfector sponge. If you don't have a perfector sponge, that's okay. As you're applying the makeup, you could just be blending as you go, and you can kind of press your brush in, and you can even very lightly blend right where the two lines meet, right where your highlight and your contour meet. If you don't have your perfector sponge, you could totally blend using your brush, and you can blend as you go. So you don't want to push too hard while you're blending, just a light little swirl. So, okay, so there is your highlight and your contour. I am going to, so that's your highlight and contour. And I still have my palette, I still have my compact in my hand and my brush in the other hand. So this makeup is super simple. You're not digging through a makeup bag. You're not digging for other brushes because you can do everything with one brush and your whole face is right here. So all we've done so far is our highlight and our contour. Now we're going to go in with our blush. Today I have Plum blush, and on this half of my face, I'm going to be using my Buffy brush, and on this half of my face, I'm going to show you the blush and bronzer brush, which is what I normally put my blush on with. So you can tap into either end, you can use either end for your blush, and I'm going to use the bigger end. So I'm just going to take my washcloth and just kind of wipe off any extra highlight, which there's not much on there, because most of what goes on your brush goes on your face. And I'm going to tap into my plum lip and cheek, and I'm going to smile, and the apples of my cheek will pop. And I'm just going to press, see, a little goes a long way, and I barely pressed into the tin. So do a little smile, the apples of your cheeks will pop up, and you're going to press it in a little pressing, swirling motion, and then you can drag it up. And you can just do a light application of your blush, or you can keep adding and darken it up. I tend to like a lot of blush, so I went a little too far in here. I just flipped my brush back over, and I don't even have to add more highlight. I'm just gonna kind of clean that up because I don't want my blush to go too far in. And this makeup is so forgiving. So if you mess up, it's totally fine. You just flip your brush over. If you need to wipe it off with a cloth, you can, and you can just move it or add a little bit more highlight, tap into the highlight. But I didn't even tap into the highlight. I just kind of cleaned it up like that. So again, I am going to blend with my Perfector sponge, but I just want you to see where we're placing this makeup. So on the other side, so I'm going to put my Buffy brush down. On the other side, I'm going to pick up my B-squared brush, which is the blush and bronzer brush. The smaller side, this is such a soft brush. I'm going to be using this. One second, I'm going to be using the smaller side for my blush, and I'm going to tap right into my plum blush. And a little bit goes a long way, and I'm just going to be tapping and swirling this color in. Do a light touch, tap, and kind of swirl. And then I'm just going to bring it up. So I'm not going on top of my contour, I'm just going right above it, right on my cheekbone, and I'm not going too high up because that's where my highlight is. So just on your cheekbone, and you could bring it up. So I'm just pressing it in and blending it out as I go. I really like this B-squared brush. I just love the feel of it on your face, and I love how you can blend. So blend as you go. So there is your lip and cheek. That is your blush color. There you go. So again, we're going to blend at the end. So I'm going to go in now with my illuminator. I have Pearl today. My girls are totally crying. I'm going to wrap this up soon. So, but I really want you guys to know where to place this makeup. So I'm just going to rub with my ring finger into my Pearl Cream Illuminator, and I'm going to, right on my cheekbone, I'm going to tap it right there. You can add more, you could just do a little. I tend to gravitate towards the powder illuminators because they are more dramatic, and I just love a dramatic illuminator. These are a lot more subtle, but you can build them up and make them more dramatic, of course. So I will make you another video that's not as rushed. I've got kids crying in the background. So I just wanted to get you guys started so you see how the illuminator just, I'm going to put more on than normal just so you can see it. I kind of sometimes go up around here. You could just go up your cheekbone. I also do the tap back into your illuminator. I also go right here on my Cupid's bow and just tap that in there. And I also go right here in the corner of my eyes and just press it right there, right in the corner of your eye for a little pop of bright. Hopefully you can see that with the lighting. So I did get distracted with the kids. I did forget to show you that I like to take, you can take your main highlight or if you have a brightening highlight. So I'm going to go into my candlelit, my brightening highlight, and I'm just going to touch it with my finger, and I'm going to drag it down the center of my nose, being careful not to wipe off my contour line. You can do this part before you do your nose contouring or after. That is going to be personal preference also, and you're just going to tap that in right there between your nose contouring lines. So the purpose of the nose contouring is you're just creating a shadow. It's not a harsh line, you're just creating a shadow on either side. It's going to make your nose appear slimmer. And then I contoured right here under my nose, and that just makes your nose appear shorter. So again, you don't have to do these steps, these are just options. So you're going to press that highlight in. Again, you could do that before you contour your nose or after. If you feel like, if you've done it after you've contoured and you feel like it's gone over those lines, just take your brush, whether you have the detail-HAC brush or your Buffy, small end, and just drag that line down again ever so lightly. You can pick up more product, or in this case, I did not pick up more product. I'm just gonna blend that out so they kind of melt together. So back to your illuminator, since I did forget that step earlier. I'm sorry, my girls were fighting outside of the door. I'm going to tap into my illuminator, and I like to, so we did our illuminator here on our top of our cheekbone, here on our Cupid's bow. I like to tap it right here at the end of my nose, give a little shimmer there, and then I also like to drag it right down the center of my nose, right there. Okay, and that's it. So I'm going to take my perfector sponge. It is run under water and then squeezed out, and then I like to take it in a towel and squeeze it out again and get any excess water. You don't want it too damp. So you're going to take your perfector sponge and you're just going to press in to your skin. You're not swiping. You don't want to swipe your makeup away. You're just pressing it into you're pressing the makeup into your skin and really setting it into your skin. So just press that makeup in. And you can also always blend up. You want to lift your face up, never drag it down. So your contour, you want to go up. So if you can press it in and do a little rolling motion here, which will also pick up any excess makeup and really blend these together so there's no harsh lines and it's just seamless. So you can press straight in, or you can kind of roll up, but we're not dragging it, we're just pressing it. Okay, so that is your HAC, your highlight and contour. We started with our highlight, and then we did our contour after. We blended with our perfector sponge, and if you don't have a perfector sponge, you can blend with your brush, very light touch, and just blend it together. You can press it in, or press your makeup in, or you can blend where your highlight and contour meet. So I'm going to show you the Bella bronzer, cream bronzer. Some of you did get it, some of you didn't. I use my B² brush. I use the bronzer. This is the big end is the bronzer brush, and the small end is the blush brush. You can also apply your bronzer with a perfector sponge. So this is our cream Bella bronzer. If you use your perfector sponge, just tap it in there and you tap it onto your face. I'm going to be using my B² brush, so I'm going to lightly swirl it onto our Bella bronzer. A little goes a long way. So you're just going to start swirling and lightly touch your skin with it. Where the sun would naturally hit your face. So the tops of your forehead, if the sun's coming down here, tops of your forehead, tops of your cheekbone, and you can kind of do the tops right here. I wouldn't grab more product, I just would go here, here, and then you can drag it down your neck as well. So light swirling, a light touch, and you swirl the brush on, and this is also going to blend your makeup together as well. This is a great brush to blend with also. So the Bella bronzer is just going to give you a warm tone, warm your skin up. If you like bronzer, you're going to love the Bella bronzer. It does not have glitter in it, like a lot of bronzers do. It just gives you a warm, sun-kissed finish. A little bit goes a long way, so you could do it. You could just kind of. I didn't pick up more product. I'm just kind of getting a little bit on my nose and the top of my chin. So that is the bronzer. You could add more and give yourself more of that sun-kissed tan look. But I just wanted to show you the Bella bronzer. Okay. So you are all set. You can also take your lip and cheek, which I also forgot about, I'm sorry. My crazy kids. Take your ring finger and swirl it into your lip and cheek. And again, I have Plum today. And use it for your lipstick. If you have different colors, you can layer them. I'm going to go in on top of that with my cream illuminator. I used a different finger, and I'm just going to tap it right there in the center of my lip, just to give a little extra shine. You could also take, I have the multitasker brush, this pointed end, or you can also use this end, and you can tap into your contour, which you would do before you put your lip and cheek on, and you can line your lips with it as well. So that's also an option. I'm not really gonna get into that right now, but I will show you a video of using every brush, all the different applications, but you can also line your lips with this. You can also do your eyeliner with your contour. You can even do shadow with your contour. So this makeup is so versatile. You can do so many different things with one product. To finish everything off, I am going to show you our, and her to see, this is our Vanilla Dust, right here, our Vanilla Dust setting powder, and our Power Powder brush. And I'm going to take this end, so not the rounded end, they're both at an angle, but the more flat end, and I'm going to tap into the Vanilla Dust, and I'm just going to press it into my skin right here in my T-zone. So I'll go right there. You don't have to do a setting powder, and you're just pressing it, you're not swiping it. But I just wanted to show you our setting powder also, and you're just pressing it in on top of your highlight with that side. So just right there in your T-zone. If you wanted to, you could flip this Power Powder brush over and do the same thing where your contour is. Or this is our other bronzer. This is called Cayman bronzer. You can tap into that and tap it off, and then just press right on top of your contour. It'll give you a powder setting finish, but it also gives you a little bronzer. And this powder bronzer came in is a mellower bronzer than our cream bronzer. I really love the Bella bronzer. I didn't know how much I loved bronzer until I started using this. So that is it. So that is doing your hack, your highlight and contour. We did our blush, our lip and cheek, starting with our highlight. If you have any questions or if you'd like to come over, I'd love to set up a time for you to come over. We could play with all of the brushes that we have. You can check out some other colors, but I am here to help. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you guys soon.